Let me guess. When you hear Valentine's Day, you think about roses, chocolates, maybe cute little teddy bears, right? Today, I'll walk you through some Valentine-inspired but non-romantic idioms that native speakers use. No love stories, no dating drama, just useful English that you'll actually use. You're an intermediate to advanced level learner, so you already know what idioms are. They're expressions that cannot be taken literally. They're taken figuratively or metaphorically to represent a meaning. Let's start with the idioms inspired by flowers or nature. And no, flowers are not just romantic. Stop and smell the roses. This one's a nice reminder to slow down, be in the present moment. Don't let life pass you by so quickly.
To stop and smell the roses and to live a little bit more simply and to focus on the present real world in front of me.
Every rose has its thorn. Nothing is perfect. Ow! Every rose has its thorn. That means even when something is beautiful or going well, like a beautiful red rose, it does have thorns that might cut you. So nothing is perfect. Danger might be lurking around every corner.
You in danger, girl.
With any technology, there's every rose has its thorn.
Say, every rose has its thorn. This one might be the sharpest. Studies have shown that high intelligence is linked to an increase in mental health disorders, especially depression and anxiety.
Coming up roses, you can say this when everything is just going smoothly or according to plan. There are no hitches or no problems or bumps along the way.
And everything's coming up roses, so I'm great.
I know, I'm so excited to be here too.
We're coming up roses here.
Everything is coming up roses.
Not everything is exactly coming up roses for the studio. Earwig, already controversial for its eschewing of traditional hand-drawn animation for
Nip it in the bud. This one is fantastic for work situations. Solve a small problem before it grows.
Signs, I know how to deal with it, and I know how to nip it in the bud. I know what to do.
The moment that my daughter started lying, I knew I needed to nip it in the bud.
This coronavirus thing, they'll nip it in the bud and get it together.
Bloom where you're planted. A very healthy mindset idiom. Make the best of where you are.
Much of my life, I believe that you bloom where you're planted, and you try to grow wherever you are and contribute whatever you can while you're there. But to not let a day go by where you don't learn something.
Bloom where you're planted. Next, flourish where you're found. And lastly, spread seeds of service wherever you go.
For me, this idiom is also related to the grass is greener where you water it. So it means wherever you are, take care of that situation, make it the best. And a late bloomer, this is often used to talk about teenagers or young people who maybe developed a little later than their peers. There might be physical changes that bloomed later, or personality-wise or work ethic. It could be used in those situations.
It's had its ups and downs, and I'm a late bloomer, but I'm having a lot of fun now.
That's right.
Ask you to talk about being a late bloomer creatively, which you both are and aren't. There's a level at which you...
Then what happened? Oh, and then I finally, so speaking of being a late bloomer, I didn't transition until I was like 25. So
at this point, you can pause the video and complete the fill in the blank exercise in your PDF to practice these idioms that are inspired by flowers. Live online group classes, students will do this exercise together. I show my students different images, different pictures, and ask them to try to describe the situation, what the people are feeling or experiencing, and try to match the appropriate idiom to the situation. Okay, now let's talk about the idioms that are inspired by gifts. And they don't have to be romantic gifts. Remember, this is a non-romantic Valentine-inspired idiom. These are incredibly useful for business meetings, feedback, job offers, and of course, everyday conversation. Icing on the cake. This means cake is already delicious and amazing, like birthday cake, wedding cake. just everyday cake, right? But the icing just makes it so much better. It's like the perfect, just the perfect addition. So the icing on the cake is something extra.
National outlets, that is really the icing on the cake. Like for me, I'm still that introverted IT person that loves to do the research, and then it's the real bonus and to be able to go on TV and share that with millions of individuals watching.
Think about art as sort of icing on the cake. It's what you do after you've paid for everything else.
This is the kind of like the icing on the cake of my work.
And to top it all off, the icing on the cake, this guy back home in Britain was the leader of the Men's League Against Women's Suffrage.
The icing on the cake are the sound effects.
Icing on the cake. It's an absolutely magnificent book that I loved every single second of, and I'm
cherry picking. This means you are picking out your favorites. You are biased and you're choosing what you want.
Of the same kind of cherry picking and selective referencing.
Cherry picking, why don't you at least put out a reasonable preliminary number and show us some transparency?
We're going to put out information, cherry picking scientific data. One egregious example that we talk about.
And what I saw was historians sort of cherry picking and not, because there was no opponent.
They're cherry picking one piece of supporting evidence while they're ignoring absolutely everything else.
Picking out, cherry picking the evidence so that it conforms with what they think.
So just to make sure you do not think I'm cherry picking an anomalous passage from an exceptional case, let me offer other examples of scientists.
So we have a mixed bag, which just means there's a lot of different stuff.
A mixed bag there.
So it's a mixed bag of tricks, really. When I was a little kid, whenever somebody asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, it was always a long hyphenated answer, you know, depending on whatever it was that I was into in that moment, whether I wanted to be, you know, a singer.
And it's always a mixed bag. That's why, you know, I was wondering whether this is too big of a model to bring, but I really wanted
to have a corporate product. So it's a mixed bag, yo. It's a mixed bag. But you'd be amazed what we can pull out of stuff that isn't meant to be very helpful for us.
Being kids, by the way, is a mixed bag. You want to have a feeling of giving back.
So it's really great actually to have a mixed bag, a whole lot of different kinds of people in the room, bringing different kinds of perspectives. There's value in those different perspectives.
Where they're led, but I think it's a mixed bag with students. I think a lot of students come to campus not fully understanding what they're getting into.
Also, Potion have a mixed bag of guys as well. That's why they do so many inventive pieces. And I think that's really...
The textures are a mixed bag, and the color just ain't.
Bear with me. This is not about teddy bears. This is about patience. Bear with me is a polite way to say, please wait a moment. Maybe I need to look for information. So this is great to use if you're working in an office, if you're on the phone with someone.
Right now, so just bear with me here. But here's the thing.
It's a very dry name, but bear with me, it's super helpful.
This is going to be a bit technical, bear with me. Cross sections.
It's a little complicated to explain, so bear with me.
Are going to seem very bleak, but bear with me. You get to the exciting.
I swear to God, this is going somewhere, so please bear with me.
Answer, but I said, if you'll bear with me, I believe I can best address your question.
Bear with me if I have minor freakouts or I'm at a loss for words.
Now, I know there aren't a lot of men here, but bear with me. If you're a man, you'll have to represent your gender.
This is how I understand their meaning, so bear with me. So atheism is the belief that there's no God.
Come with strings attached. This means it's not just straightforward. There's something that you'll have to do, or there's a little hidden disclosure of something extra.
But the money didn't come with no strings attached. It was accompanied by a battery of what the state called accountability measures.
They come with lots of strings attached.
But very often it comes with strings attached, and of course, when people talk about strings attached, they usually refer to the initial kind of very crude strings, like buy our tractors, buy our stuff.
And so usually that money comes with strings attached.
But the bailout comes with strings attached.
But venture capital comes with strings attached. It always comes with strings attached.
Strings attached. When you have a grant from the federal government, it also comes with strings attached.
For bailouts to come with strings attached, meaning it's likely that buybacks will continue to remain under scrutiny for a while.
Welfare or unemployment programs often come with a lot of strings attached, like taking part in courses, applying to a certain number of jobs a month, or accepting any kind of job offer, no matter if it's a good fit or what it pays.
At this point, I want to address some of these that come, I think, with strings attached. A bit of a caveat.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. It just means that's how things turn out. Life is just that way sometimes. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same.
A lot of me covering stories about the recent rise in fascism, but you know what? That's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
There happen. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Translation would be something like, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Thank you for your time. We're on our second pre-bake.
Is that? That's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know, as they say. So
sometimes that's just not the way the cookie crumbles, and sometimes it is the.
Okay, so that's the way this cookie crumbles.
Okay, on to the idioms about emotions and relationships, but it doesn't have to be romantic. So these idioms help you deal with boundaries, vulnerability, and motivation, things that we all deal with every day. Wear your heart on your sleeve. This means that you outwardly express and share your emotions instead of hiding it in. You know, some people are more easy to read because they express themselves, and some people are more reserved and don't express their emotions so vividly. Or so openly.
He wore his heart on his sleeve, and
he now wore his heart on his sleeve, sharing in his performances his inner struggles.
And he wore his heart on his sleeve for every single one of those seconds. The raw emotion Springsteen displayed, along with the sheer quality of his tunes, won the public over.
Don't wear your heart on your sleeve. You know, what is the message of those things? The message of those is that there's certain things that we shouldn't be talking about.
Do you stifle how you feel, or do you wear your heart on your sleeve?
You don't wear your heart on your sleeve, you put on the mask at work.
At a convention, you can wear your heart on your sleeve. And you walk in, and here are thousands of people who are unabashed fans of XYZ.
Keep someone at arm's length. It's pretty literal. It means if this is your arm, the length of your arm, you keep them at a distance. You have your personal space. So it means you stay emotionally distant, not necessarily physical.
And so we kind of kept each other at arm's length.
So I guess I always kept it at arm's length. Wouldn't be the first time I pushed someone away just because I didn't.
Well, at arm's length for me, because there was only so close you could get when you're doing all this.
Religion. Indeed, Molly seemed to have intentionally kept foreign influence at an arm's length.
To lose heart, this means to become discouraged. So in this, the heart represents courage or bravery, or vivaciousness for life. And so to lose heart is to become saddened or discouraged or disheartened as well.
Interfering, irritating, depressing, calculated to make you lose heart.
Through these struggles, you might be tempted to lose heart.
You'll be broke, you'll be broken, you will be uninspired, and you will lose heart.
Impact as you go along, and so it's easy to lose heart and to give up.
So don't lose heart. The world needs you.
Now let's take a look at idioms inspired by cards. Cards like Valentine's cards. And I know this is a big cultural difference. I'm from the USA.
And real live handwritten greeting cards in the mail.
We give cards for any and every type of special day or celebration or life event. I think also in the UK, cards are a big deal.
Sorry about the poor plumbing. Or best of luck in your first screen printing class?
Yeah.
Sorry for embarrassing you in front of Derek.
Well, we'd like to say we have a greeting card for every occasion.
Sorry, yeah, I'm just looking for like a regular happy birthday card.
But here in Spain, where I'm living, I've noticed they're not part of the culture. It's starting to grow a little bit, maybe with American influence through series and movies, but yeah, as an American, you got to give a nice card for every event.
Where they've drawn pictures or created greeting cards and they've spent days on them.
But not before leaving behind a legacy of greeting cards that exude cheer and Yiddish warmth.
Also the material that it is in these funny greeting cards that when you open, they make this music.
Stuff about making artwork for greetings cards.
And greeting cards and candy and gifts.
We used to manufacture greeting cards here, but now apparently...
Anyways, that's how I organize my greeting cards.
These are absolute gold for professional English. So these are used in the business work world and in everyday life and conversation. If you want to sound fluent without being dramatic, these idioms are right for you. So the first idiom is read between the lines. This means someone is saying something, like they're saying the lines, the script, the dialogue, but if you can understand what they mean, maybe through their tone, through their body language, facial expressions, or what they're hiding, there's a hidden meaning.
Trying to read between the lines is a very important way of trying to get access to Black people's experience. But this is work that it's very, very important to do. Read between the lines, we have to pick up hints, we have to...
Put your cards on the table. This comes from playing a card game, but put your cards on the table as an idiom means to lay it all out, to reveal everything and to be vulnerable.
I want to put my cards on the table. Like, what do I think AI is and the possibilities of it are?
So let me just put some more cards on the table so we're not confused about my position in this debate.
I want everyone to put all of their cards on the table, and if there's evidence that you have that's bad for your case, you have a duty to turn that over to the other side. If you
I've always been able to put all of the cards on the table and discuss the pros and cons. In my speech in Munich, I gave you clearly where...
Play your cards right. This means to act strategically, just like in a card game. You want to think of a good strategy, consider what the opponents are going to play, what cards they're going to physically put on the table.
Have enough customers to last you for the entire year if you play your cards right. And
if you play your cards right, you should have it done by the end of the day. It's that enthralling.
Ovulation, you might get some if you play your cards right. So
more than $100 a day if you play your cards right.
If you play your cards right. You play your cards right and keep that money invested.
5 years. Play your cards right. I'll leave it for you in my will.
The good people who work there might even throw you a few extras if you play your cards right. Good morning indeed.
Well, maybe if you play your cards right, you might get a meal.
Christmas, well, let me say, if you play your cards right, this thing actually works out.
Like I said, you could turn 220,000 into 400,000 if you play your cards right.
But if you play your cards right, you can make a game successful on the web.
Did you play your cards right?
I do these things because if you play your cards right, you could live forever. You got.
This is where my students build their confidence through real life practice. Get feedback from me or from other students. Enjoy the interaction. Message me to join one of my online group classes because we do all of this. Until next time, stop memorizing and instead start communicating.